Clemens Homebrew.
Coming at ya
with a beer review. And look what we've got here. Woo. We've got another beer from Daniel and Peter out of Freiburg, Germany. This is the Tap 6 from Schneider Weisse. This falls into a category I enjoy so much more. It is a Doppelbock. And it just so happens that theirs is the oldest wheat Doppelbock. It's been around since 1907. This is a big 8.2% beer, and we're gonna have some fun with this one. Let's get it poured. Now that's a pretty beer. Look at that.
That's a beautiful beer.
That is. That's got a nice 2-finger head. It's like a
deep mahogany oasis over there.
Yeah, it's a deep mahogany. That's a nice, or medium mahogany, but that's a nice color beer. Down at the bottom, you get like the lightest hint of gold, and you get the bubbles rising up a little bit on the sides.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a pretty beer, and that head's hanging around. It hasn't gone anyplace, so wonderful. We're gonna get the nose, pass this around. Work on those first impressions. I get this like a little bit of a maple syrup. I get some nice caramel aromas. I get some raisins on that, and some figs on that.
I actually like it because it has a nice wheat aspect to it, which I'm not used to a Doppelbock made with wheat, or actually known as a wheat Doppelbock. So that's an interesting smell to it that I like. It's not as fruity as I expected it.
Smells nice.
There are some he likes the smell. That's a good sign. Okay, now I'm getting at more of that Doppelbock. You know, I've had some Doppelbocks that are just really, really high ABV. This has the nice, like I go back to the maple syrup. I know that's not as common in Europe, but those nice sweet aromas on there. And that this is a wheat Doppelbock means that it's going to be a little lower in the barley in it, but nonetheless I do get those sweet aromas coming off it like I should. I get the raisins, I get some dark fruits on there, just a hint of spiciness.
It's starting to appear now.
Yeah, and it warms up. It's going to start pulling through more, I'm sure. I got a hint of clove on that as well, so spiciness and clove.
Yeah, you won't get as much, you don't get very much breadiness, maltiness from it because of the wheat, but it's starting to bring out the raisin scent and all those spices that are in there.
Oh yeah, it really is like a sweetbread. It makes me think of a fruitcake, you know, because I'm getting that nice, for me I get the breadiness, and it gets that nice breadiness, but with all these sweet aromas going through, just a hint of the alcohol that's in it. I've had some really wonderful fruitcakes. There's just a lot of fun going on here. We're gonna get this thing divided up and we're gonna give it a taste.
There we go.
Oh yeah, now we're gonna get the real aromas here. Oh yeah, I'm getting more. I got some plum off that as well as the raisin. Love it.
There, yeah.
Looks like licorice.
Yeah, and but I love the light spiciness and the nice sweet aromas on there. Are just really wonderful.
Yeah. You get the dark fruits coming out now.
You know, the malts, the roasted malts are just really light, almost between toasty and roasty. It's just very light. Oh,
now
that
I'm
smells
thirsty.
good.
Let's have
okay,
some
all right,
German
cheers,
beer.
or Prost. Prost, yes.
Drink.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is more my style. And the first thing I want to mention, I like the balance on this. Again, so much better than the U.S. beers. The U.S. beers can get just a little more viscous, you know, a little more syrupy on the taste, a little higher sweet content. This is a much more balanced flavor for me.
Yeah, it's sweet, yet spicy, yet has those Doppelbock fruits that are in there, and it's well balanced. Medium body, good carbonation. It's very enjoyable.
Not a hint of 8.2% ABV to me either, personally. Although there is a light warming. I do get a light warming, but outside of that, I mean, now it's just very, very balanced. You know, the one thing that's just so unique about Doppelbocks is that unique balance between the light roast And the sweetness, it's an interesting sweetness. And even with this being a higher content, probably wheat version, you still get that light sweetness. It's the esters that come off of the yeast. And it's just so well done. And this is a beautiful example of that. It really is. I think that you're getting all these full flavors, all the range of flavors, and yet it doesn't taste like a big beer. And yet it's still 8.2%. I just think that for me, this is a really nicely balanced beer.
Yeah, I think it's different for me because of the good toastiness. It almost lends towards a brown with a wheat ale in there because it tends to take back the maltiness, which is, it's fun, it's new, you get different flavors in it, but it's very tame and it's very enjoyable.
Definitely an enjoyable beer. It's got the flavor, but it's not overpowering. The 8.2 APV is definitely not expected from the flavor.
Right, right, yeah, a very good beer indeed. Like I say, a lot of flavors coming off this, and yet it has like a light feel to it. This is a really well crafted beer, I've got to say. Beautifully crafted beer. It's time to do ratings on this. So we're rating this as a Doppelbock. I'm gonna jump in there right away and just say as a Doppelbock, I like this. I've had some really killer Doppelbocks, and I do love very, very rich beers. But my appreciation of lighter beers has increased more as I travel abroad, and this I really appreciate because it has that light fill, and yet it's a full big beer. I'm going to give this one a 97. I think this is a fantastic Doppelbock.
Wow, I'm surprised. Like I think it's a good Doppelbock. I didn't put it in that range. I'm gonna put it at 89. I think it's good. It has the great flavors. Different than a normal Doppelbock because of the wheat and how it's lighter in flavor and takes away from the syrupy taste that you're talking about. Surprisingly 8.2% though, but it's enjoyable, but tends to fade away from what a normal Doppelbock would taste like.
And I'd say what he's used to in the US Doppelbocks. So for me, I just really like this. I appreciate it. Overall, I mean, I love Doppelbocks, but let's be honest, I am a big beer guy. I love my big beers, so I just can't go to that range. It's really well balanced, has all the right flavors and everything. So in style, I'm loving this. But for my overall, I'm gonna give this an 89. I'm really digging on it. I couldn't drink a whole lot of these at 8.2%, so we'll go to an 89.
I'm just dropping to an 88. Overall, it's a great beer. Like I said, I think it's a wonderful beer, well crafted. Everything they've done with it has just, it improves the taste, the lightness, the nuttiness, the slight maltiness, the wheat in there. It's a complex of flavors, a complexity of flavors, I should say, that you don't usually get, and it's well balanced, and it's carbonated well too.
Yeah.
And it's smooth on the palate.
So here it is. It is the Tap 6 from Schneider Weisse. Hopefully I've thrown some photos in of Peter at the brewery, or at one of the brew houses. And thank you again to Daniel and Peter for sending us to us from Germany. This is Kevin from Clements Homebrew saying, life is too short
To drink cheap beer.
And I'll see you
in the next beer review. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.